Well, what a surprise. This is awesome. I've been wanting to talk with VeiiLA for ever since I first saw their advertisements on Facebook. And that's what drew me in, by the way. And so keep doing that. I'm sure you're getting a lot more hits than just me, but uh, curious, listened to the music, and I said, "Oh my God, this is perfect." I mean, I usually listen to prog and metal and female-led metal, but this was just something completely spacey and different, and I loved it. And thank you very much for everything you guys have done. So we have
Thank you.
Veef,
Yeah.
who is the lead singer, and Bess, who plays guitar, and Veef does also play guitar as well. Yeah, I skipped over that. Sorry, but Bess also plays guitar, synths, and and welcome to the Citadel of Metal Fellowship here at ProgressiveRockCentral.com. And I'm going to shut up for a minute and let you guys say hi.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah,
Thanks for
thanks.
having us.
Yeah.
Definitely. I
We're
mean, these guys are rock stars, and they connected with Project Records out of Portland, which is not far from here, and great uh, producer label, and hard to get on that label. So that tells you something about the music that they're making. It's damn good. Well, so thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to discuss your latest album, Sentimental Craving for Beauty. And we'll talk about that title in a few minutes. Tell us a little bit about how the band began. I covered a little at my review, but it'd be better to hear it from you. And also, they have an incredible story about leaving Russia right after the invasion of Ukraine. And with everything that's going on in the news, it's even that much more pertinent. So, tell us a little bit about where you came from and your experiences and what brought you to where you are now.
Oh yeah, it's I guess it started quite some time ago. We had already before playing music and doing things, having some projects together, and um, at some point we just started like playing with synths, and going a little bit into that time. I guess we were more into like four on the floor sort of like dance music, and about I think it was probably what was the year when we
I think
uh,
2005 when you
no
first
I'm
started, or
2015 probably, when
15. I'm sorry.
yeah,
I knew
when
there was a five.
yeah, I guess somewhere around that we got the idea for VeiiLA and the name, but truth be told, we didn't really do much the first years. We were just, I don't know, horsing around, making an occasional song, throwing it away. We played a few gigs, some festivals, and I think we had our first album, or like first full length, only in 2020. Yeah, and yeah, it's we were always, I think, in sort of like a search, and sounds a little corny, but yeah,
No.
we were searching, we were trying, blah blah blah. But the thing is that we really got at some point tired of electronic music in a way, even though we're still doing electronic music, but we got tired and in the way it's created usually.
And also it felt cold somehow, and we mm, disattached maybe somehow from this, and started to think how we can make it more interesting and more exciting.
More alive, yeah, for us. So, yeah, we got a guitar on a whim. Basically, we were, doing like before we had a bunch of devices, some groove boxes, drum machines, all these knobs with shiny blinky buttons. And then it just got somehow like, oh, yeah, I don't know. Just didn't feel real anymore. And everything just stopped making sense. But we got a guitar. I mean, we've got a guitar, and I shifted to a bigger keyboard, and we kind of at first we were working on an album that was supposed to be this album
Mhm.
for a while. Not like working. I mean, we didn't have any deadlines or any real plans. We were just getting some songs recorded, and it was already a pile of material, but there was a time when we didn't we kind of disconnected from the world, really disconnected. We spent a lot of time walking in the woods, by the shore back in Russia, and didn't go on the internet, didn't check any news, didn't have any contacts. It was like this sort of like creative bubble.
What was that like? Because a lot of us would love to do that. Um, but we sometimes put our schedules and everything ahead of that me time. But that must have been wonderful. Was it a great feeling? Or
Um, in some ways, I think.
It's beautiful, of course, but eventually you lose touch of reality completely, and it's hard to return. And we had to return in very tough manner, in a way.
Yeah, it basically slapped us in the face uh, because we had to get our heads out of the clouds exactly you know, when the war started, when everything just started to happen so rapidly. And we kind of woke up, and it was not really pleasant to wake up. But thankfully, I guess, because we were so detached before, we got this surge of energy. I don't know. So we kind of didn't really think through anything, just, packed stuff, got the first tickets, and went to Armenia, even though we never been here before, we knew nobody and had no idea actually what's going to be. Just flew into unknown.
yeah, I was going to ask
Yeah.
you, do you know have family or anything there? But it doesn't sound like it. Because I think in your songs too, you mentioned how it's you didn't get immediately pulled in by anyone, or you didn't have a lot of people reaching out to help. But I think over time, did that change in Armenia
Oh yeah.
that you found people?
Uh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a
good.
lot of artists we've met.
Yeah,
And just people actually. I mean, people are I guess it's probably because when you go from a big, buzzing megapolis to a place that is just smaller, people are kinder,
Yeah.
and
More humane.
yeah,
Mhm.
so it's been in this regard it's been nice.
But
Yeah.
it's tough to leave your family and friends, and I'm sure that's still. Do you have any plans of going back if and when this ends, or when politics
Yeah.
change over there?
I don't know. I um,
For now, we don't really make any plans. It's crazy, absurd. Nothing has any sense or meaning.
Yeah.
It's hard to say what's gonna be tomorrow. We just try to focus on today. This is all we can do, really.
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I guess we're kind of floating. Yeah, but back to the album. We had this gap because we were living so briefly, and we could only take so much stuff with us on a plane. We did some crazy thing. We sent some gear, some instruments in a box ahead to a delivery pickup point in Armenia, thinking that we'll get there, we'll grab the box that was supposedly that would be supposedly there already waiting for us, and then we'll figure it out, and decide what to do. Little did we know, because the box arrived only, I think, 3.5 months afterwards.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was just got stuck at the customs because somebody slapped some different description on it. So completely ridiculous little detail, but we got stuck for 3 months without half
Your
of the
most
instruments.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
the most important
So
thing.
yeah, and we actually moved through 3 cities. So by that time when the instruments arrived, we were already living in different cities, so we had to go back there, pick it up. Yeah, but when we finally got it, we had some kind of a frenzy. We wanted to play. We wanted to finally do something. We wanted to, I don't know, feel alive. So we started to remake all our old songs, kind of like in a new way, where it's mostly focused on playing just a sort of like drum machine and what we can play with our hands.
Mhm.
Because before it was like electronic music with a lot of knob twisting and stuff, but it was just less tactile, and we decided that we need to just give ourselves a little bit of a treat and make the music a little bit more relatable. So I guess like in a month we made probably like 10 songs.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. We didn't really have anything else to do, so it was also very hot in that town where we lived at that time. So in the daytime it was impossible to go out. So what we had to do is just, sit at home and play.
Did you bring
And
back some of your feelings of that time when you're out in nature and away from the internet and everything? Because I hear some of that in the songs. I hear that um, sort of freedom and not being pulled in by daily events and things like that. I hear some, well, freedom. I guess that's the best way to say it.
I think it was kind of It's like I would like to say that we preserved it and it was absolutely smooth and brilliant, but I think it was more like back and forth thing, because there were times when we just, when everything started to happen, and obviously we had to keep an eye on the events. We started reading news, doom scrolling, depression, and all that kind of, and it just sucks you in.
Yeah.
And
And
then
A
basically
lot of
making
us.
this
It
album,
was on TV constantly over here. Yeah.
making this album was exactly the way out of this darkness in a way. So we just tried to focus on this.
yeah, we at some point we had this kind of like version of the album that we were working on, and when we got already to this town, to Vanalzor, where we live now, we just walked in the forest once, listened to that stuff, and we just thought, that's not us anymore. That's just not how we feel. Something is just off musically. So we rewrote the whole thing from scratch.
Wow.
I mean, we had some songs that we just kind of recreated with different arrangements, re-recorded them, because it felt everything was different. We've sounded different, we felt different, so we just wanted to make it fresh.
Yeah.
So all the old stuff was thrown away, and somehow we just got into the kind of a state where we were making new songs, and they all, or at least it feels like they kind of have some, I don't know, something that unites them. And yeah, it was nice. It was a good escape. And
Tell us about the title. I love that title, Sentimental Craving for Beauty. You kind of describe it, and I put that in the review, but I want to kind of hear it in your words. How did you come up with that title? It's wonderful.
I've read the book Foresight Saga, and I've met this beautiful novel, and I stumbled upon this phrase, and then I showed it to Bess, and I thought, wow, it's so beautiful. And somehow it just, from time to time, was
yeah, this phrase was, I guess, around probably for 3 years hanging. I remember the first time when Viv showed me the line in the book, and I don't even remember the context in which it was mentioned there, but I felt like, wow, this is how we feel all the time. This is just
took describing us in a way, and our strivings.
yeah, the world is spinning in this madness, and you just don't have anything but you can either succumb to this madness, and but that will be like I guess Albert Camus, pronounce him right, Camus. I think he's French. He said that everything is absurd, and when you interact with absurd, you become absurd.
Yeah.
So absurd consumes you, and I guess it's just we always felt that you have to somehow not let this absurd consume you, and yeah, there is some kind of alternative for this supposed to be. And I guess when we saw this line, for the first time. It was like, this is the alternative. This is the
Don't get caught up in it. Don't get stuck in it. Yeah.
Like a counter curse, in Harry Potter. Yeah.
What are some of your influences as far as music goes? Who did you listen to when you were growing up? And each of you, talk about who it was.
Well, there was such a diversity. Hard to remember. There was Nirvana, there was classical music, there was some European pop,
Queen,
Queen, yeah, for sure.
Beatles, of course. Depeche Mode.
Radiohead,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Portishead.
Portishead, yeah.
Portishead.
Tricky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely hear, and I think you guys, and I totally overlooked that, but you covered The Silence by Depeche Mode. I'm going to add that to my list of videos. I just watched it yesterday. It's excellent.
Thanks. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, we did. It was a
Depeche Mode is like the greatest band.
yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. We really adore them. We really adore them as a band because in the way they managed to preserve this freshness.
Yeah.
And integrity. And
yeah, over such a long period with so many albums, and they still rock.
Yeah. Do you have the new album or the latest?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. One of the few bands that is able to keep, making interesting music, like you said. Some of the older bands, they come out with something that sounds pretty much like what they used to do. But I mean, this still sounds like Depeche Mode, but it's different. It's really, I really love that album.
Yeah, they're great.
Now, I don't know, how much time you've had to really plan or get this ready, but are you going to be touring at all in Armenia or anywhere?
We kind of play some shows, every now and then, but the thing is that Armenia is there are not many big cities here. It's a small country with the whole country. The population of the whole country is half of the population of our hometown, which kind of says something. And most of the things that happen are all in Yerevan, and if anything happens anywhere else, it's usually like random things. So everything is very spontaneous here, so you can't really plan things. We did this. We had this mistake when we just came to start, and when we got our instruments, when I got some, rehearsed for a while, and we decided that we need to plan something. And because back in Russia, when we had to play a gig in Moscow or St. Petersburg, it was, I don't know, like 4 to 6 months ahead you had to plan. Here it's mostly happening tomorrow or not happening at all. So yeah, it's impossible to plan anything. And when we finally understood it, it was a relief, because at first we tried to plan something, and you just can't. People people call you and tell something like, okay, so let's do it this Friday. Oh wait, but it's Thursday. Oh yeah, that's true. Tomorrow. Okay.
And at first
and at first we kind of felt that it's it's unusual. It's a little weird, but then if you or new local friends explain us that that's just it's how things are done here. Everything is very spontaneous, and you have to go with the flow and just stop thinking. And like that, it's kind of happening, yeah. So when people ask us about like plans, we usually like, oh no plans, and then the next day we can announce that we will have 3 shows, for example, in 3 towns, because it just all happened yesterday.
Wow. What about the rest of Europe or Italy? I think Italy's really close.
Yeah, we didn't really think about it much yet. I mean, we would obviously we would love to go everywhere, but it's kind of you have to kind of do some organizational work in that regard.
Has
And we're like
the Facebook ads been helping? I mean, like I say, that's where I found you, but
that means that it works.
Yeah.
And at least when we have a proof that it works.
Yeah.
Because it's always a little bit strange with the internet. We had this crazy theory some time ago that when it comes to social networks and all that stuff, you never know if anything is for real there.
Oh, yeah.
There are always some kind
Probably.
of accounts popping up, likes, all this kind of stuff. But is it real? Because I just heard somewhere that people are using, for example, robots.
Yeah, AI.
To fake something. They use like fake accounts, and those fake accounts, in order to be more believable, they live automatically on the internet. They have a bot that is supposed to give somebody likes on
Yeah.
Instagram, for example, has the whole life around this around I wouldn't say around him, but it's a bot, so around it. So it might have a Spotify account, Facebook account, all sorts of other accounts, and everywhere it will actually live. And then the thought starts to appear in your head: what if the whole internet is just a crowd of robots, and you never know? They might be, they might live
Well,
there.
I'm real, and we're having a real conversation.
Yeah. So this is the good proof
It
of
exists.
it. Yeah.
But yeah,
Yes.
I definitely understand what you mean. And sometimes, yeah, even for me as a reviewer, you're sending out this, please send me your, and you never hear back. And it's like, maybe that was a robot. Maybe it wasn't a real group or, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
All
true.
right. Let's talk a little about the album. What are some of your favorite songs? Because I can go through and ask you each one of them, but tell me what your favorite songs are, because we want to hear about your favorite song. And I know they're all favorites, but you wouldn't have written them unless they were. But if you had to pick, two, three, which one would be your favorite? Each of you. Go ahead.
Yeah. So it's hard because every time when we play them, they change the feeling somehow, and it's already different. I guess for me, in this particular moment, I'd say Furnace, My Blues, and Ocean's Breath.
Yeah, I think Ocean's Breath is my favorite. But talk about each of them. How about Furnace? What is it that's
Furnace. I don't know. We actually play an acoustic version now in our live show, so it's like just a piano and guitar. I don't know. I just like it, I guess, as from the musician's perspective. But I think it's a. I want to say that it's a beautiful song, but I don't want to sound, you know, cocky or arrogant. I don't know. So
no?
I like it. I like this song.
What's the meaning behind it? I mean, I read the lyrics, but just for people out there that haven't, that are new to it.
Hmm. We kind of have always hard time talking about meaning because it's like, I don't know. Yeah. No, I mean, obviously it's a.
Like lyrics for me, it's like always the stream of subconscious thing. It's hard to explain, and I don't like even to explain.
Yeah, I think most of our songs aren't as metaphorical as it would, require some sort of manual to understand. It's mostly quite direct, and sometimes we even think that it's a little bit too direct, that it's kind of like, being naked in front of people, but we always consider that, that if it makes even us a little itchy, that means that it's probably real, and it's probably good in
Yeah.
the way that, how art is qualified as good for us, and like if you feel it, you feel it. So yeah.
All right. What about Ocean's Breath?
Ocean's Breath, yeah. I
Viv does,
remember.
Viv does
Yeah.
some fantastic vocalizations at the beginning. What inspired that? I mean, it's beautiful. It sounds beautiful.
Not inspired.
That's interesting. I remember when this is one of the songs that actually I think that didn't change much when when we were working on it, because most of the time we have an idea, for example, or we have some demo, and then we just change and redo, and we think it's done, then we throw it away, then we remake it again. This one was kind of in kind of in the same basic shape that it was conceived. And why I remember it so well is because we've recorded a demo, just showed it to me, and it was there pretty much everything, these vocalizations, the I mean the basic idea, the structure, and everything. And when I heard it, I was just plastered to the
Yeah.
ground. I don't know, just felt so real.
Mhm.
So I don't know, so straightforward in a way, but at the same time so kind of subtle. So I right away proclaimed that it's going to be my favorite song.
Yeah.
Even though pretty often I proclaim things like that, but some of those songs that I proclaimed would never even finish. But in this